Hello, everyone! Yay!
What's going on here, people? It is, in fact, another beautiful Wednesday. That's right, we don't take time off, man. Pedro's even here. He's upside down. He's slightly inverted, but he gets like that sometimes. You'll have to forgive him. Forgive him, I mean. Don't forget Pedro. He's too full of potassium. Some audio.
Aw, hi, Steve husband.
I thought you'd like the reverb, Steve. You of all people. How's everybody doing? Hopefully we're all recovered from the holidays. Everyone seems to get wrecked.
Yeah.
And it takes about a week to recalibrate to the nonsense. Just welcome back to work, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is normal. This is going to be normal for another couple of months. What's the next holiday coming up?
Easter?
When's that?
April or March. I don't even know this year. It's either April or March.
Well, apparently Easter's coming up, so you can... I guess basically one of the tricks is you just go by and go to your local, like, Target or anything like that, grocery store, and see what's on display like, obnoxiously early. And it's usually 3 months. From that.
I get to have my vanilla chocolate bunnies once a year. So that's on Easter.
But you just limit it to once a year? Are you scared you'll fall into a diabetic coma?
Yes. I get the small one too, because the big one is, oh, yeah, too much. Hello, Justin. Hello, Artherin.
We got a little bit of a show. Not gonna lie to you. Like, we're gonna start right off with, we were talking about this earlier. Last week was like, and the week before that, like, oh, let's recap everything that took place in 2019. This week is a lot of projects with the 2020 predictions of stuff we think we're going to get accomplished. Which is good.
Yes. So I put a tweet out then.
Could have retweeted mine.
Yeah, I know, but I wanted to do one too. Since Pedro's not here, there's usually 2, and I usually retweet yours or his.
It's going to be the 3rd today? There's no 3rd today. Pedro's here.
Nope, it's me and Ven today. Hasn't just been me and Ven in a long time.
Tell me how many episodes it's been, Joe.
I guestimate?
No, I need an exact number.
I'd have to go through and look at our catalog. It's been a long time.
He's talking
2018. 2018, I believe.
I think Pedro was moving last time.
Yeah.
Pedro moves a lot.
Yeah, that was it.
He's got to stay ahead of the man. Trying to track him down. But different.
Matthew.
Oh no, man. Does anybody get into anything fun? Any fun surprises? I saw a lot of people were like, yo, I'm back at work. This is a bit of rubbish.
Yeah. My poor husband goes back to work and they tell him, oh, you're going to be working this weekend. We got 10-hour days.
10-hour days?
Yeah. It actually ends up to being about 12.
Well, how long did you get off?
Justin.
What did you take? 4 weeks?
Yeah. Well, yeah. 2 weeks, then a week back to work, and then 2 weeks. So yeah, he gets 4 weeks now.
8 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Yeah, that's about what Steve husband does. Sometimes it's 10. No. Poor Justin.
I don't know, structured hours are like this fantasy concept that I've never really had. Like, it sounds like it would be nice, like from the other side of like, wait, so I get to go home at a certain time? Not when it's done?
Yeah, that's what happens with Steve is, yeah, they're supposed to have a set schedule, but the job needs to get done, so he has to stay later and do it. And they do give him overtime. So.
Man, I would love to be able to ride the bus. We technically have some buses in Athens, man.
Technically, yeah. Oh, we have a good bus system here, but I rode it for like 40 years, and now I just Lyft or Uber. I'm done with the bus system. It's actually not bad here, and I still occasionally will take it if it comes, if I don't have to wait too long.
I would just like not to have to own cars.
Yeah, it is. There's some here in LA. It's kind of difficult not having a car. So even with the buses and trains, it takes a long time. That's why the freedom of being able to use Uber and Lyft is awesome, because now I can go to my friend's house in Hollywood and get there in under an hour instead of it taking 3 on the freaking bus. So.
Well, true.
There's a thing.
I mean, it's only a 15-minute walk, but...
Yeah, no.
The traffic in LA is not exaggerated in the slightest.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a nightmare. There's too many people in LA.
Mm-hmm.
Uber Eats. Yeah, man. Well, I'm glad they're fixing your car.
Yeah.
So it's better than the insurance company laughing at you. Which does occasionally happen, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're about to kick on. We got 1:30.
Okay.
One, two, and three. Full of tea. Almost ran out of tea yesterday.
Aw.
We can finally get started. Rohit's here.
Right. Yay, Rohit! Yay!
Alright, let's get everything put together. Okay. too much stuff on this desk. And I don't need a bigger desk.
Yeah. I keep my desk I don't like it cluttered at all. All the clutter is behind me. So, but it's all organized. Organized.
There's no
Very
clutter
OCD.
on this desk whatsoever. I'm out of room.
Oh, okay.
Clutter? Have you seen pictures of my... I don't do clutter.
Oh, I know you don't. I know you don't. I just didn't know if you put something else on there that I hadn't seen.
There's no room to put anything else on here.
Yeah, your desk is smaller than mine. I'm right now, this is just one of those utility metal tables you get at like Lowe's. Because the reason is a long story. When I moved in, my previous desk didn't have the weight capacity. So I'm just like, you know what? For now, I'll just get a nice big utility desk, and I've got probably about 500 pounds on it. It's great.
What do you have on, like a monitor and a 422.3 pound weight?
Yeah, I've got about 10 computers behind my 3-monitor setup.
Because they're allergic to the floor or what?
Well, because I don't have space.
Under the desk?
Well, I have some under the desk too.
Oh, right. See, I keep forgetting. Hoarding.
Yeah. I have a shelf under the desk that's full of vintage computers as well. Yes.
Right. I'm trying to apply logic to a sickness. That's not going to work. All right, beautiful people. Yeah, scale. When is scale? That's coming up, isn't it?
March 5th through 8th.
So, January.
Man,
that
2 months.
Seems like that was just...
Oh, I know. It's coming up so quickly. I already got our room. our house, I mean.
Locked and loaded. All right. Well done. Cool. I saw you go for a cough, so I just froze.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. For real this time.
Okay.
And welcome back to Linux Weekly Daily Wednesdays, where we can sit back, relax, take that mid-week break, talk about the fun things we found going on in the world of Linux, open source, and everything else related to penguins, apparently.
Yes.
That's something we do. Hey, I'm Vince Stone. That's Joe Bryant. We're here with you live every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Moon Time. Come check us out on Twitch. It's beautiful. Or after the fact, podcast form, video form. We even put that up. Like 3 people watch it. It's a little bit terrifying. Pedro, he's not with us this week. He's gone.
Yeah. Well, last week I wasn't here, so Jordan filled in for me. So thank you again to Jordan for that. And now Pedro is gone this week and next week, and I will miss him very much.
I wish I could say the same, man.
Aw.
Nah, it's all fun.
Yeah. And I've been really enjoying watching CES coverage this week, especially finding out that the AMD booth has a Thelio by System 76. That was pretty cool.
That's kind of neat, wasn't it? I'm like, oh,
yeah.
yay. I like, man, okay, I can look over the wood and I'm like, it's not bad. Everything is great about that box until you get to the ports on the back that are machined into the case. I'm like, oh, that's only ever going to work with that motherboard ever.
Oh, yeah. They are working on that, on modifying it.
Well, they could just go back to using a backplate. Like,
yeah,
I think the computer. But hey, man, I get it. It's a style thing, form over function. All that beautiful stuff. Not a lot going on. Just been sitting back, not getting anything done because I've been watching and kicking some coin too. A few shackles in the direction of Games Done Quick.
Ah,
They're doing
nice,
their
Ben.
marathon. They're on Twitch. They're
Yeah.
doing a little battle for cancer. And it's always good to help those lot out. And it's entertaining to watch stuff that I just breaks my mind. I watched a really good Fallout 4 where they've just decimated that poor game to such an extent, and it made me happy. Then they do classic games, like Castlevania and stuff like that. So I think it's pretty neat. Pretty
Very
good times.
cool.
But
Very cool.
but last week and the week before, we were talking all about, end of year review stuff. And it's like, this is what we got accomplished with our project and this project. Now we have to do the 2020 predictions, because that's definitely going to be a thing. Starting off
yes.
with a GIMP. Yeah, big one, GEGL 2019. So, I think the really important thing in this one, it starts off with something they talk about, which is lessons learned, because they realize that, while the GIMP, through 2019, 2018, when they were making regular updated, just regular updates, rolling them out, they were not making it into the stable branch. And
yes.
they noticed that some of the contributions were drying up, code contributions, and it kind of made the project look stale, because you were seeing, okay, this is my one version, and I haven't got a new version in 2 years and all that fun stuff. It makes sense. If you're going to contribute code to a project, you want to see it in use by people. So the big takeaway from me was that, going forward, they're going to be pushing out stable releases on a more regular schedule. And they got a bunch of stuff in here about tools and stuff like that, man.
Yeah. Yeah, well, there's been a lot of really good innovation in the GIMP, but yes, it hadn't been coming to Stable Branch, and now it will, and that is just wonderful. And another thing you can do is contribute to all aspects of GIMP development and help out by doing code, UI UX design, creating plugins and effects, and yes, even help with documentation. They always need that. And one of the most important aspects to helping the GIMP out is just to create artwork in the GIMP and tell people about it. This was actually kind of cool because this semester I had several students who did this very thing. They were using GIMP instead of Photoshop for some of their other classes, and they were telling their teachers and the students about it. And it was just great. It was awesome.
And no, not you. You don't get to make that art and share it. You know who I'm talking about. A couple of the things in there. They're going to have improved file format support. One thing that kind of shocked me recently with GIMP was there's no built-in support for WebP. I was like, how about JPEG 2000? And it laughed at me again.
Yes.
I made the mistake of trying to appease the Google website calculator. It's like, fix this thing, spend days on it, and next week I will change it. But they do say that they're going to be adding better performance, especially with the paint buffer on every tab. I'm not doing a tab. With the pix maps, if those haven't changed, and saving and exporting layer in groups and rendering English, old man, grayscale workflows are going to be a lot faster thanks to changes in the Babel library. That's pretty cool. Just such an awesome project, man.
Yeah, it is. This year they nailed it. They with the user interface changes and the speed and all the little UI UX changes and everything under the hood has been redone and reworked, and the Gaggle library is awesome.
Well, we don't have Katie. Well, we do have Katie. We don't have Pedro here, so I can't throw it to him. You'll come in a close second.
Yes. So the KDE roadmap for 2020 looks bright. Here are some of the features that we can expect to see, are likely to see, and possibly will see this year. The KDE input-output file library and Dolphin only has a single patch left to turn privileged escalation on. Yay! So you don't have to run Dolphin as root to move, create, rename, etc. root-owned files. That's a big deal because that's always been a pain. And a lot of the file managers, let you move root privileged files around. So this is nice, KDE, wonderful. And I knew this was a problem, but should be fixed this year. Auto rotation for tablets, convertibles, and other hardware with rotation sensors. Yeah, I knew that was a problem. A lot of people complained whenever they put plasma on any of their mobile devices that rotation doesn't usually work.
So if you run KDE, can you only listen to Daft Punk?
Yes.
And the Tron Legacy soundtrack. Okay, good.
Yes.
That tracks.
Yeah. That was awesome. But that's beautiful. And what was just shown on the screen there, likely KDE is going to continue KDE's consistency of unification of the apps and user interface by implementing more of the proposed visual design changes to the Breeze style Plasma and KDE apps to make it more unified experience and look more beautiful. So that's always a good thing. They're following in the footsteps of GNOME, and that's been a promise, and they have been keeping it. So there's a lot of really good things going forward in KDE we have to look forward to this year. Really great.
You left out the big one.
Wallpapers. The big one. Yes. Oh, yeah. Yes. So nicer wallpapers and 4K and ones that work correctly. That's been an issue.
Better wallpapers than I don't know. I don't use wallpapers. I'm allergic to them, but that's really cool. Well, the one thing that caught my interest is something they brought up in the end, and it's the moonshot stuff, which, if you're unfamiliar with that term, it's stuff that we'd like to do, but we're not going to commit to it. But here we go, swing and a miss, was the per scale factors for X11.
I know. That's going to be very, very good.
I'm almost willing to bet that all of my screens will be UA. I'm not picking on KDE, but before we see this next 11 with KDE or anything like that, I'll just have UHD screens everywhere.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yes.
That's pretty cool, though. I'm down with it.
Yes.
Blender? We're not done. Just one more 2020.
Yes. And this comes to us thanks to M. Foxdog in chat. And, Blender has had an amazing year. And with the release of Blender 2.8 in October, made Blender a game changer in the industry. Because now the user interface is very similar to the workflow of the other major 3D animation packages out there, like Maya and 3D Studio. And one of the some of the highlights from this last year, it's just been amazing, is Ton Rosendahl receiving an ASIFA Hollywood Annie Award for Blender. That was a very big deal. And the release of the Spring Blender Open movie was their best movie they've ever done. It was absolutely amazing. They also received an epic.
How dare you, Big Buck Bunny?
Oh yes, Big Buck Bunny. Yes, that was their original and still one of my first loves. So and Blender received an Epic Games Mega Grant. They received theirs just before Matthew received his for Lutris. And Ubisoft and other major studios are using Blender, and we've talked about that a lot here on LWDW. And one of the major things that happened this year was their presence at SIGGRAPH Los Angeles, which is the world's largest animation convention. They had gone every year for many, many years, and people just looked at them as a small, animation studio, because a lot of the small animation studios use their product. But now Blender was looked upon as a first-class citizen. And that is just huge. Companies were coming up to Ton Rosendahl, CEO of Blender, and everywhere from AMD to NVIDIA to Autodesk, and the list goes on and on. And with the advent of the Academy Software Foundation, Blender became the go-to for open source animation projects and the example set in the industry. So that was really, really huge. And they didn't talk about the Academy Software Foundation in the article, but that was something very important to bring up.
Do you know what I think Blender really needs?
What, Ven?
A game engine.
Ah, yes, the failed one from previous years.
Except for that one skateboarding game, that one Brave Soul. And then there was an attempt before that. It was a Sintel.
Yes.
Remember
that? Yeah, with the very abstract art and models in the abstract world, and you interacted with them with music and whatnot. That was cool.
I think Sintel, it was a female protagonist with a stick, but that could be mistaken as abstract.
Okay, different game then.
If you get smacked enough with a stick, everything's abstract, man. Blender is such a cool project. Always looking forward. And here's the truth. With me, with Blender, I only use Blender when I'm forced to, and I immediately try to forget everything I just learned, so it's out of my brain. This is not a valid strategy because like once a year I get stuck having to use it. And it's just because I'm a bit rubbish at doing 3D stuff, and but it's good.
Yeah.
It keeps on trucking.
Well, I'm moving all my students onto Blender. They're no longer learning Autodesk 3ds Max, and still doing some Maya, because of course Maya is for Linux, but all the Linux-based applications are my focus now for my students.
Well, that makes sense, especially, I mean, it's good to see the adoption of Blender into production studios. Simply as like, yes, this is what we're just going to use now. Why? It works on everything. And there's no per seat license. Hey, where's the dongle? There isn't one.
Yeah. Well, you know, even Pixar and DreamWorks are using it in their tool chain now. So it's pretty amazing.
It's an extremely powerful piece of software, and it's open source.
Yes.
So it has that going for it. Okay. That's our predictions from everyone with the roadmaps for 2020. Let's talk about something a little more entertaining. Killing your laptop. Just not the way you expect, man.
Yes.
A Linux kill cord, right? Buzzkill, a USB kill cord for your laptop. And what is it? I mean, it triggers next screensaver to lock the screen every time any USB drive is removed. Now, you could set this trigger to do various things like shut down or, you know, just lock it or drop to a TTY or something like that. Here's a nice little demo for everyone watching the video version.
Yes.
Oh, gone. And that's neat. See, that's a good way to do it with like a USB to a magnetic connector.
Yes. Very smart.
But how much is this going to cost, man? Because this is something you got to brew for yourself.
Yeah, and all the parts can be had for $20 to $45 depending on your needs and what size flash drive you get and how much the cable is. So, I'm sure if you go to AliExpress, you can get everything for $20. So that is definitely a thing.
It's pretty cool. When you think about, so the principle of this is you're going to take a USB cord, hook it in, but then you're going to have the other end of the cable attached to your persons.
Yes. Yes.
In theory, we all know this ends up with your laptop on the floor.
Yes. There's that. And the other worry I had is that I might forget that it is hooked up to my laptop and accidentally activate it myself by moving away or just like by going to the bathroom in a public place, you know, like Starbucks.
Well, if you do that and you come back and the worst thing that's happened is you've forgotten your password, you have larger problems like early onset Alzheimer's. But
yeah.
I just thought about like how many devices I've picked up that were still attached via USB to, and it just that little mini USB has pulled staggering amounts of weights and other things loose, and I'm like, whoa, okay,
yeah,
that would happen. I like how he has set it up with you know, it'd work better with a magnetic connector because that would help prevent the going zooming across. But I think it's very neat. Now, this is a tame little kitten compared to something like Silk Guardian, if you go look that up, because that doesn't play around. That's like, oh no, Alphabet Agency knocking on the door, because I mean that Silk, it's going to wipe your RAM. It'll just nuke anything you tell it to. Turn off the computer. It's like, oh, that's not suspicious. But this is a fun project. That's something you could set up. Do it to mess with your friends. I mean, be good like that.
Really cool. I really was impressed.
Okay, well, I didn't put this in the show notes because it's too blinky.
Oh, I love this. This is Chafa. Chafa is a command line utility that converts all kinds of images, including animated GIFs, into ANSI Unicode character output that can be displayed in a terminal. Yes, remember the BBS days. Yay, that was I love those days. And so ANSI art is, so for those of you that don't know, is a computer art form that was widely used at one time on BBSs. It is similar to ASCII art, but constructed from a larger set of 256 letters, numbers, and symbols, and was used in MS-DOS and Unix environments. And it's what's really cool is Chafa is actually a very highly configurable and supports alpha transparency and multiple color modes, including true color, 256 color, 16 colors, and simple FG, BG color. And as you can see, you know, it's far more complex than let's say ASCII, which is can only be just a few colors, either black and white or several colors. So, but I had fun converting and running a unicorn GIF to 256 color, 16 and 2 color output. And it worked really, really well. Actually, it was amazing how fast it is. It's really instantaneous on today's computers. And I used to wait quite a long time back in the 386 days to convert my artwork to ANSI graphics. So believe it or not, it used to take quite a bit of time to convert to these formats, but not today. So it's been a long time since I played with ANSI. And this utility was just so much fun. I enjoyed it a lot and will enjoy it more.
Hipster.
Yeah, well, you know, I do enjoy running the CACA and AA lib on Linux, and this is another way you can do that.
Did you take a break from watching Star Wars and ASCII?
Yes. And this time I decided, oh, I want more colors, more characters, a little higher resolution in my terminal.
See, I definitely grew up around the same time, and you know what? I don't miss any of it. I'm like, nope. I'm good.
Oh, I used to love creating.
Palette. I'm like, nope,
yeah.
Don't like that. Nope.
I used to love creating ANSI artwork and BBSs, and I used to bring it into my animation programs back in the 80s.
I 100% like understand the skill, and you know, I've definitely watched my fair share of like BBS docs of like ASCII art. That I don't have a problem with. That took time. That took skill. This is cheating.
It is kind of, yes. But it's fun.
It's still a cool effect, man. It is 100%. So, if you want to be like the uber hipster and like the ASCII art generator is not enough for you, man, you can measure your bandwidth in the terminal with this handy bandwidth utilization tool, which is just called Bandwidth. That's what I like it. It's not like the Broodwitch. It has tomatoes that you don't have to eat. But
yeah, it used to be called Witch.
Well, I like it, man. You know, it's a CLI utility. It's going to display your current network utilization, and it will show connections to remote host names. It's also going to attempt to resolve IPs by those host names via reverse DNS. That's kind of cool. I mean, it's available for Arch, Mac, other Linux flavors. No, I'm not going to install it through Rust. Ha, no.
Yes.
There are pre-built binaries for it. I don't know. Do you ever run into situations where if I'm going to be on the command line looking at bandwidth, I'm using something like NetHog.
Okay.
I guess this was like just like a quick tool. Like, what's eating all this?
Yeah. You know, it's kind of like HTOP or TOP for networking, which is really cool.
There's NetTop.
Yeah. Yeah. That was that's the one I'm usually using. So, and that's a thing too.
With that stupid router I picked up, I don't have to mess around with this peasantry anymore. I have it generate graphs for me on a weekly basis, which I never look at. I just set it up one time to make it do it. I was like, this thing generates graphs. What? Okay, do it. This is a cool project. If you're curious, give it a look. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
most definitely. It was really cool.
So, I got a continuing series that I've been working
Oh,
on.
yes, you do, Ven. It's awesome.
What was my original name? What did you call me initially? What was my Christian name there? Mid?
Ven Stone?
I mean, Vin? You got confused?
No.
Mitch? Is that what we were
No,
going
I
for?
didn't say Mitch.
Back that tape up.
I might have said Ben,
Ben?
but I
All
meant
right.
Ven.
All right. Ben? Do I look like a Skywalker?
Yes. Yes, you do.
Okay, check this out. I made a thing, which I do every now and then, to try to like share some of the knowledge. And this one's not necessarily Linux 100%, but these are some tips and tricks that I've picked up over the years about if you've ever done any type of recording, be it Hi Gandalf, with anything really. I mean, you might run into a nice little thing called a 60 hertz hum, a ground loop, that little zzz in the background. So in this, I'm going to walk you through a couple of things that don't work to get rid of hum versus two things that are wicked cheap. No, come back. That will. Basically, a ground loop isolator from Pile, which is, it's non-powered. You just plug it in, it works. And Adium USB isolators, those are great. They get the job done, and where you can pick those up, that's kind of brilliant. Which will,
Yeah.
and if you're wondering, like, hey man, I don't know if I have like a 60 hertz hum. I see it a lot with laptops, though I've plugged in. Like I got my USB DAC, but when I'm recording something, or if I'm trying to listen to something, I'm hearing that. Easiest way to find it: unplug the laptop where it's running on DC. If it goes away, that's what you got. This is gonna fix it. And other stuff, just I've seen the list of like, well, why don't you use it? Never use a cheater plug. Cheater plug is a plug without a ground pin on it. That's a good way to get shocked. Don't do it. Also, I was just like, oh, well, run a ground cable to your water pipes. Just pick up something like these are like $12 to $14. They'll get you sorted. But continuing with this series, up right now for patrons, I have a new video and guide for doing something where you can record. And let's say if I'm talking and Jill's talking, right? Jill, pretend you're talking.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope.
Man, you're screwed. Check this out. So we were doing with that, and let's say we were doing a regular recording, and that was just one stereo pair, and Jill's like, and like laughs. Like, whoa, that's a bit loud. I need to take that down. Well, what I'm going to be covering with your existing hardware, where you don't need anything fancy at all, just like a USB mic and your standard sound card, how to set up OBS to do 2 tracks when you record. So you can go back and take that into an audio editor like Audacity and change the volume of one side versus the other independently before you mix it down into a single track. So
Nice.
that's something you should be doing. And there's a good example in that video of like, whoops, I messed up when I was showing everyone. It's a good thing we did this. So look forward to that. And as always, that video will be made for general consumption when the next one comes out, which will be dealing with mix minus and how do you get rid of like ducking in audio? Because that was another thing that took us a minute to get sorted. All right. So, Jill.
Yay. So I got another gift from Mike G. 2 weeks ago, he gifted me a blue penguin, and now I have this cute plushy pink penguin. It's so cute. A lot of people said it looks like me. So thank you so much again, Mike G. I love my penguins. So next week you will see it over in the pile.
It's
so cute. Yeah. Isn't that so sweet?
Definitely want to throw some love at that. You got Mike. There's Mike. You got Mike. Carl. See,
yes, there you are, Mike G.
You got to be careful. If you get anything off of our wish zone, especially if you get for the studio, we'll embarrass you live on this back wall constantly. But hey, man, if you want to support the show, the best way to do that's patreon.com/Linux Gamecast. That lets us do a budget. kick us a few shekels every week, and you get some stuff like the videos that I work on a little bit earlier than everyone. We like to sweeten that up. Also, you get an extra show every week, the Pre-Super Shows, which takes place when we do it live. If you want to come check that out in your podcasting feed, along with access to audio-only streams for everything that we do. Thank you so much for making that possible. Oh, let's see what else. Shameless plugs. If you are curious about the equipment in the studio, I have everything itemized. Go check that out. You don't have to buy it through Amazon. Buy it through Newegg or your local provider. Let's see. What do I have lined up? That's our wish zone for the studio. It's boring stuff like hard drives and fans.
Yeah.
And of course, merch.
Yay! See, which I'm wearing right now. I got one of my LWDW shirts on.
It's one
Yay.
of them.
Yeah, I have two. This is the men's. I have the women's as well.
All right. Suck it, Steve. You don't get that one. That's kind of brilliant. All right. Let's get into a slice of pie. Just one this week.
Yeah.
How do we pronounce that? Elegoo?
Elegoo Smart Robot Car Kit version 3.0.
I want a dumb robot car kit and danger car.
Yeah. And this is an awesome, robotic car kit. Actually, this is one of the ways you can build a robot that actually follows a line that you draw. I've seen people use the robot cars for that.
I don't need that. I would draw the line. That's just dangerous.
And actually for, emergency situations where you need to put a small vehicle, on the field to find things. And you could use AI on it to find everything from your cat or your dog out in the real world. I've actually seen them used for that. It's pretty cool.
But one of the big things for this is it comes as a full kit. You just pick it up.
Yeah.
Done. You can play with it. So, great time for gifts, right? You're like, oops, you're about a week, 3 or 4 weeks.
A week too late.
Yeah. But this. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Like Ven was saying, this is awesome because it's a kit that you can build yourself, and all the instructions are there. It's actually, it's not very hard to do, and would not take actually maybe an afternoon. So this would be really, really fun.
That's pretty cool. I'm down with this.
Yeah.
And, it's using an Arduino. And
yeah.
If you don't know, like, what are those? It's like, that's what we had to use back in my day. Be quiet.
Pre-Raspberry Pi, we had only the Arduinos. System on chip.
That's an SoC, but it definitely gives you a better grasp of working with limited resources. And if you're like, hey, how does embedded anything works? I'm like, yeah, and there's a ton of scripts to play around with.
Yeah.
So.
Definitely.
Go check that out. AI. Hey, man, it's true AI, Strider. It follows a line. If it wasn't real AI, it wouldn't be able to follow the line. All right?
Yes.
Maybe you're working on a project made of artificial intelligence. You want to tell us about it, and we could do that and talk about it. Or we have a question. Maybe we got something right. Maybe we got something wrong, terribly wrong, and you need to tell us about it fiercely and correct it. Next case CDS. You can do that. LinuxTeamcast.com. Tap that contact button, fam, and also pick the right show, fam.
Yes.
LWDW. Give us a name. Give us an email that resolves. You can make up one. Just make sure it's a real one. Give us a message. Then tap that send button. If you have a project or something like that, something with a bunch of links in it, send it to the email address listed on the page, because if you don't, the spam golem's going to be like a cat when you set something like on a table. It's going to swat it. We'll never see it. It'll be a thing. You can also leave some comments, thoughts, hints, and suggestions in our YouTube.
Yes.
But do keep in mind, everyone else does, and we have over 1,000 videos, so I can open up like the comment section, and any given day, it's going to have more than I'm going to have time to read. So there's your warning. Jill,
Yay!
we do have a little bit.
Yes, we do. So this comes to us from Tadley. Can you make a statement in regards to latency with that thing? ? Is it astronomically high, or could you actually game using it? ? I've got a fancy KVM Windows guest setup with PCI pass-through for the GPU, and Looking Glass gives me a huge FPS penalty, and an HDMI capture card could be a workaround for that. Yes.
No,
Definitely. I don't have any experience with using Looking Glass GPU pass-through.
no,
Um,
that's Windows like typing detected.
yeah.
Here's the thing. I mean, if you're playing around with something like that, this is in reference to the USB 3 HDMI card
Yes.
that I did a little bit of review on. It's like the stupid cheap one. It's like $60, right?
Mm,
And you don't expect a lot for that, but you get
yeah.
what you pay for. And apparently, latency is an issue with some of the cheaper. If you see a $30 capture card, just let it go,
Yeah.
baby.
Let it
Let it
go.
go.
Yeah.
The U3 HDMI cards, that the one I did this video on, you can find it in that little list thing I posted earlier. It'll be in the show notes. Latency is nearly imperceptible with that. It's good enough to where you could play Rocket League through OBS
Mm-hmm.
without a deal. You don't notice it. I'm using it right now to send return video
Yeah.
to Jill. This is coming out of a Blackmagic card, and it's getting captured into one of the Kuma's computers. So, I mean, it's near imperceptible. I wouldn't try to play Smash Bros. With it. So,
Yeah.
if you're doing like Pixel Perfect or anything like that, don't bother with it. But for regular desktop stuff, you're not going to notice it. So,
Yeah. And Ben, isn't the chipset very similar to the Elgato, or it uses the same chipset, but it's only $60
no,
instead
AVR
of
Media.
AverMedia. Okay.
That was, yeah, I was poking and prodding with those. If you're going to use one, don't worry about it. Don't buy more than two. I have 6.
Yes. Yes, you do.
We have backups. We have spares. That's something you want to keep in mind. Like if you're ever going down that route, if you just need one, you want to play with it, yeah, pick up something like that. If you're planning on doing like multi-setups, it's better to just pay the piper, man, and get some Blackmagic or Magewell hardware, which I totally avoided. It was like the flying spaghetti monster was teasing me earlier this week, Jill, because one of those 4-port Magewell cards showed up, and those things are $900.
Those are awesome.
It was for $350. I didn't buy it.
Not. Oh, okay.
I
was
tried
gonna
not
say,
to.
not bad.
No, see, that was the problem. If I had bought that, I couldn't have like kept it. I'm like, I can turn around and sell this thing for $600 easy, long as it works. So I decided not to. All right, beautiful people, we're gonna bounce out of here. Is Pedro gonna be back next week? I don't know.
Nope, I don't think so.
Maybe not. Who knows? Let's find out. But until then, we're gonna roll some credits. Huh?
Okay.
Maybe if I can find them.
Yay. And thank you to Lucifer Azazel for the follow, and Sinise Omega for the follow. Thank you so much. Yes, Rip Pedro. And thank you to Venstone. And I'm Jill Bryant. And thank you to our wonderful patrons, our executive producers, and our producers. We love you all. And thank you for coming, being a part of our live stream and chat. We love you all. Yay! You just keep giving and giving, and it's amazing. It makes all our hard work worth it. Definitely. And I can't believe it's the 204th episode of LWDW. Amazing.
Just remember, kids, thoughts and opinions expressed by Jill Bryant do not necessarily reflect those of Linux Gamecast LLP.
Yes, Finn. Okay. Bye-bye.
All right.
Yay.
We made a show.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yay. Okay. See, what did Turbo Pancake put in there? Oh, I see. Oh, Patrick, keep giving and giving, or else Jill will hunt you down. Justin, you guys rock.
There's always room in the banana stand. Barely.
Yes, chair music. Throwing chairs on Saturday.
Let's see. I have a new emote submitted to Twitch.
Oh, cool. Let me go take a look at it.
I don't know if it's been approved yet.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm going to go find out. There it is. Wait. It's still pending. Yeah.
Yeah, Test Man. They sure do.
Twitch emotes take somewhere between 8 seconds and 2 to 4 weeks. And this is an incredibly offensive emote, so it might take a little longer. I don't know. Did anybody watch Dracula?
No, I haven't seen that one yet. I have it in my queue. I really liked Bram Stoker's Dracula, so I've enjoyed the Dracula movies.
Well, this is a 3-part series that was on the BBC, so
Yeah.
pretty decent.
Oh, cool. Boban1, hello and welcome.
Yeah, man, no worries. I mean,
Nice.
this is what happens when I'm surprised this camera, like, it works. When I picked it up on eBay, and everyone knows the story, I got it for $100 because it didn't work. And auto shut off. So I will say I've advanced that technology. I've pushed it forward. I no longer use a hair tie. I use 2 zip ties and that same little rubber piece. But I don't know if you... Oh, okay. See, I don't... Here's the problem. It's got 2 groupings of stock pixels, and you only see them if you look for them. So don't go looking for them, because once you see them, that's all you'll see. I'm going to be replacing it with a Canon. Is that a Canon? No, a Sony A5100. Cutting edge technology from 2014. Jill, what are you preoccupied with?
Oh. Sorry, I looked at Twitter for a minute. So, oh, Streamlabs.
Huh?
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that question.
What question?
Boban1 is what is the maximum resolution to put on Streamlabs? Well, it's Twitch 1060, but mhm.
Yeah, we don't have access to Streamlabs.
Yeah.
You will see. We're very much not running a compatible operating system with Streamlabs.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So the Nikon only allowed 720p. Okay.
The what?
He said his Nikon only allowed 720p on Streamlabs. I have Streamlabs on my phone, and I've tested it a bit, but...
Well, we're talking about hooking up a DSLR into an HDMI capture device.
Yeah.
The output with the 3400, depending on what HDMI capture device you plug it into, this is any DSLR. I mean, it's a crapshoot, depending on what it's going to pick up. Like in this Blackmagic card. One of them, like in the original Intensity Pro, it'll detect the HDMI signal as 1080p 30. And that's what I have it run at right now, 1080p 30. In the HDMI USB 3 capture card, it'll pick it up as 720p 60. And in the Intensity Pro 4K or the Decklink Mini 4K, it will recognize it as 1080p 60 sometimes.
Aw, Test Man. Yeah, no, not going to FOSDEM, although someday I would like to.
Which one's FOSDEM? Where's that at?
Europe. It's the European,
Europe's
the
big
Netherlands.
Place. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Was it Belgium or Netherlands? It's moved around there. The Nederlanders.
No, here's the thing, man. Everything you see here is running on Linux. Streamlabs isn't available for Linux, so no.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I was saying earlier, because it does work on Android, but I haven't played with it.
Oh, yeah, that wouldn't.
For live streaming. That's for live streaming.
It is in Belgium.
Yeah, it's the largest one in Europe, I believe now. FOSDEM.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. No, it's a good one.
We could try to get Pedro to go, but he won't.
Yeah.
That'd be like trying to get you to go to something that wasn't scale.
Yeah.
Oh, can't make it. Oh.
No. Yeah. Oh, I'm going to be doing... Chris Fisher and company want me to come out to Linux Fest Northwest, which is a month after scale. So I'm going to probably be doing that. And looking forward to that. If it all works out. But it's going to be hard because scale, I'm wiped out for a month from conventions after scale because it's so busy. But I've been really wanting to go to Linux Fest Northwest for years. So yeah, we're sorry, Justin. You're not going to make it.
Yeah, conventions are fun to go to if you're there to experience them.
Yeah, when you work them, that's part of the fun of it for me is working it. But the other thing that makes scale different is it's 4 days. It's most of the conventions are only 2. So by the second day, you're already tired. But it's so worth it. It's, my mecca with, the Linux community. It's like a big Linux party, really. And having all the Linux Gamecast people there and everyone there, it's just
wouldn't you
wonderful.
find it a bit odd if it wasn't a big Linux party?
Yeah.
Like, why is everyone sitting around knitting?
Yes. Cool, Justin. Next year. Yeah, so this year we got a different house. The house we had last year wasn't available, which is okay because fortunately, this one's a bit cheaper. It's like $1,000 cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
So I was grateful for that because the last one was very expensive. But it's so nice having the house for us LGC hosts and patrons and crew.
There'll be some tents outside. Don't worry.
Yes. Yeah, but it's so much fun, and I am looking forward to Lynx Fest Northwest as well because it's much smaller. It's like what scale used to be 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll be nice because I'm going to go there not having to work. I'll just go to enjoy it and visit with everyone. Maybe do an interview or two.
Right on. So do we have anything else going on before we bounce out of here?
No, just gonna start preparing for Saturday. Start doing more show notes for me and resting after a very eventful holiday season. Had a lot of fun, but there were some hard things too.
Where can I change my location to? Austria. There. It's the Twitter trends when you go to Twitter. It's got like trends. I always try to keep it in a country that I do not understand or care about. So we can have fun. All right, beautiful people. We're going to bounce out of here. I will see everyone Friday at 4 o'clock, 4:30.
Yeah.
I'm going to come back. We're going to continue on with a Road to Zen.
Cool.
Where I'm going to be
It's
playing
been so much fun.
Half-Life.
Yeah.
It's kind of terrifying.
Yeah, it's so much fun. Black Mesa is awesome. Bye, everyone. Artharian, Rohit, Testman, Justin, Strider, Steve Husband, Boban1, Artharian,